Ladies and gentlemen, my name is TotalBiscuit for CynicalBrit.com, and we're here at the Eurogamer Expo 2011 to talk to Peter Garza, the overseas producer for Team Ninja, on the subject of Ninja Gaiden 3. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Right, so we've had a chance to see a little bit of Ninja Gaiden 3, and needless to say, it is not happy ponies and kittens.
No.
Plenty more ultra-violence. And how have you guys amped that up this time around?
Well, we're trying to make it a more visceral experience than it has been in the past. In past games, Ryu Hayabusa has been just sort of killing machine, and going and hacking people up, and it was there's a lot of blood and a lot of spectacle there. We're trying to bring it a little more emotional connection and make it a more visceral experience. Yeah. So the camera will close in close when we have these what we call steel on bone experiences. Okay. You'll come in. Your sword will catch on the innards and the bones of your opponent, and the camera will zoom up, and you'll hear their dying breath, in your ear. And we want to really give the player the feeling of cutting someone down and what it's like to cut someone down with a sword.
Yeah, that's an interesting point, actually, because it's always been a very, very fast-paced game, and often you've been slicing through, and there doesn't seem to be a lot of resistance on the combat. Say, yes, it's a very, very sharp sword, but I'm fairly sure it can't cleave anyone in two without at least sticking just a little bit. So are you trying to make it feel like there's a little bit more force, a little bit more weight behind the combat?
Yeah, absolutely. When you actually do try and slice something, it will get stuck there. So we want the players to feel that last push and really put that effort in to make sure that this is what it really means to cut someone down. We kind of want to get the players to get blood on their hands and to really give them that feeling.
Yeah, absolutely. And you were talking about camera there, which is an interesting point, because those who have played the original Ninja Gaiden 2 will be aware that while it was a great game, it did have a couple of camera issues. So what have Team Ninja done this time around to try and alleviate that? Well,
we've definitely taken a look at the cameras. We've made improvements to where it's going to be tracking, and we'll hopefully have a better camera experience, and you'll be able to see exactly what's going on. Have a smarter camera this go around.
Yeah, it must be quite a challenge, actually, to develop a camera for such a fast-paced game that doesn't end up getting stuck in scene or anything like that, simply because I suppose the game can't really know exactly where you're going to be from second to second.
Right, because we have so much action going on, you can be anywhere in the battlefield at any time, moving the camera around. It really does take a lot of work to figure out, how to make the camera support the action and keep its eye on what's going on.
Yeah.
So we've done our best. Hopefully you'll be able to feel it in the build here at Eurogamer.
Yeah, exactly. The point is that Team Ninja knows that it was an issue, and it's
we know. We listen to the fans.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Absolutely. Speaking of listening to the fans, the legacy of Ninja Gaiden really is in terms of difficulty. All the way back to the original, where people still have these waking nightmares about their experiences as a child playing Ninja Gaiden. So how have you guys taken that and implemented difficulty into Ninja Gaiden 3?
So for Ninja Gaiden 3, we definitely want to keep the challenge there for the players that like it. People who have cleared the past Ninja Gaiden game on Ultimate Ninja, that's a badge of honor for them.
Yeah.
And we definitely want to keep that challenge there. But we also know that because the series has that reputation, a lot of people probably threw their controllers away halfway through the game. And there are probably a lot more people that haven't played a Ninja Gaiden game in the past. So we've implemented what we're calling playstyles.
Okay.
It's not just about putting up a rank of difficulty and selecting easy, because nobody wants to select easy.
No.
It's humiliating. So we look at it as people having different skills. If you haven't played a Ninja Gaiden game before, but you've played maybe other action games, you're used to a different style of game.
Yeah.
So we have a playstyle that we're calling hero playstyle that allows people to focus more on the events of the story, and they can sort of get used to the action for Ninja Gaiden. And within the hero playstyle, you'll have things like auto guard, auto evade, and some other sort of behind-the-scenes things where the computer will sort of help you reach that level of action that players who are used to the series would know. So we're not trying to dumb it down for players who aren't used to it, but we want to sort of raise them up, help them come up to that same level.
Yeah, it's the idea of perhaps the computer taking control of elements that would make Ryu Hayabusa, because you don't expect him to miss these guards or miss these evades or things like that, so make sure that happens. It's interesting that you should mention the whole idea of playstyles, because this idea of people who are in it more for the story as opposed to the bone-crunching difficulty is something that I think I've seen a lot more of over the past 6 months, actually. It's not been easy, it's been, under the difficulty, it said, for those who care more about the story than dying horribly. Is that the direction that you see games going in the future?
Absolutely. We really want Ninja Gaiden 3 to be a modern action game. not resting on its laurels and resting on what it's done in the past and just doing things because it's been that way in the past. We definitely see games going for more immersive, more seamless experience, cinematic experiences. We want, in Ninja Gaiden 3, we want to sort of really marry the action with the story, and the fact that you can interact with what's going on screen. We want to use that as a tool to also make an emotional connection with you. So for the Steel on Bone sequences, when you're pushing a button to really, put that final cut into someone, when you're casting Ninpo, which will turn into a dragon and you eat an enemy and you consume their life to heal yourself. We want that interactivity and we want that violence to also be sort of a tool and to help the immersion into the overall experience.
Yeah, exactly. It's not just a point-scoring experience. You are actually taking life, and that you should feel something from that. Hopefully, visceral satisfaction.
Hopefully, yes.
But yeah, exactly. So Ninja Gaiden's been known for its arsenal of weapons for quite some time. All sorts of different items, and no doubt our viewers have their own personal favorites. Can we expect any new weapons in Ninja Gaiden 3? And in which case, can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. The single player is really focused on Ryu Hayabusa and the story of portraying him as a dark hero. And thematically there, it really centers around the sword. And so the single player will be sword-based. You'll get some other weapons in the course of the story. You'll get sort of powered-up weapons throughout the course of the story. But those power-ups are really tied into the events of the story. Now, online, our concept for online is more of the world of ninjas. And instead of coming into online as the top ninja in the world, you come in as a rookie ninja. And you can customize your ninja, the color of the garb, the skin color, and including weapons. So we can't tell you right now what all weapons will be available in there, but we definitely want that to be sort of more of a party kind of atmosphere for you, to really go nuts with the kind of weapons and the kind of action that you might have had in the past.
Now, online's an interesting concept because what you're really talking about here is a genre that some people have unofficially branded as the spectacle fighter. The idea of it's a third-person action game. It's all about the spectacle of mass slaughter, doing it in a stylish manner. Now, taking that online, I imagine, must present its own set of unique challenges. What's Team Ninja done to overcome that?
Well, we definitely want to keep the spectacle in there. We want to keep the gameplay, the core action gameplay there that fans know and love. But we definitely want to make it ninja-like. And so right now we're looking at two overall modes. Those are the co-op mission mode, where you can go on with play through a co-op mission with a friend, or there are versus modes. So you have a team battle and a death match. And the rules within those, we are trying to put our own sort of ninja-like spin, and hopefully you will experience, betrayals and backstabbing and all of these sort of things that
make ninjas
part and parcel
fun.
of ninjas. So that's what we're trying to do, to put our own spin on online battles.
Okay, fantastic. Now, as regards to platform support, you're looking for 360 and PlayStation 3, I assume?
Yes, 360 and PlayStation 3.
Okay, excellent. Now, you have had a couple of spin-offs as well. We actually saw Ninja Gaiden make its way to the DS, funnily enough. Dragon Sword, which was considered to be quite a technical feat. Now, do you guys have any plans whatsoever to expand to any other platforms in the future with any kind of spin-offs, perhaps, say, on the 3DS?
Well, we actually have announced Ninja Gaiden 3 Razor's Edge. We announced that for the Wii U. And definitely, we're looking at using our experience on the DS for touch controls. And right now it's up and running on the development hardware. So what exactly is going to be fun with, how to make that control fun and how to make that, really feel good with Ninja Gaiden is something that we're experimenting with right now. But that's definitely, a piece of hardware that we're looking at, and we're looking forward to working with that. We've also announced Ninja Gaiden Sigma for the PS Vita. And again, that we're still sort of getting our feet wet with the controls and trying to find the features for that will make the game fun.
The unusual backpad for the Vita is something that people are still trying to, well, what exactly do I use this for?
Right. So we have ideas, and we're just playing around with the hardware right now to see how we can make those ideas feel fun. We don't just want to tack on controls just because there's a feature that's there. We want to use them in a way that feels natural and makes the game feel good. So that's what we're experimenting with right now.
Okay, fantastic. And I suppose another question on the subject of the single player for Ninja Gaiden 3, in that, are we looking at, what kind of replayability are we looking at? Because you did say that it is a very story-centric this time around. You know, you're really focusing on the story, and that, I imagine, could potentially impede the replayability of the game. Are you looking at New Game Plus modes and things like that? Are you looking at unlockables?
Yeah, there will be some unlockables. The story is a linear story. We're trying to focus on Ryu Hayabusa and his journey as a dark hero. So there's no like branching story paths or anything like that. However, for online, there are plenty of unlockables for stuff that you can use online.
Okay.
So we definitely think that that's where the replayability will be.
Right, in the online mode.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. And when can we get our hands on it, more to the point?
It'll be available in early next year.
Okay.
For PS3 and 360.
Fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, one and only Team Ninja taught you a little bit about Ninja Gaiden 3. My name has been TotalBiscuit, and I will see you next time.